For almost 2 decades, a serial predator terrorized the women in Lafayette, Louisiana. He would break into their homes, blind them with a flashlight, then attack them. However, who was this monster? Could he have really been a man who swore to protect and serve? Let's find out right now. Wednesday, my Cajun cuties. Yes, it's me, Anne Marie, aka the Cajun Crime Queen from Comeaux, Louisiana. Cajun born, Cajun bred, and when I die, I'll be Cajun dead. I hope after this video that you like, subscribe, and comment, and don't forget to press on that notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne Marie. I hope you have a beverage. I hope you have a snuggle party or a snuggle fur party. Those are the best, and you're ready to hear a true crime story with yours truly. And as always, I want to know, are y'all drinking that water? Are y'all staying hydrated? Are y'all getting those tickers up? Remember, just a quick 20-30 minute walk, especially first thing in the morning, get those endorphins up, and you are going to have an amazing, wonderful day, I promise you. And as always, thank y'all all very much for joining me on this Wicked Wednesday evening as we discuss another true crime case. Today, I'm going to be discussing a highly requested case that comes out of Lafayette, Louisiana. And as y'all all know, I'm from Comeaux, Louisiana, which is about 2 or 3 minutes from Lafayette. We always went to Lafayette because Lafayette had the best stores, the best shopping, the best restaurants. Lafayette was so much bigger than Comeaux. Well, in the summer of 1995, all the kids were preparing for the fall semester at UL in Lafayette, Louisiana. Fun fact, the University of Lafayette, Louisiana is where I went to college back in the day. And it was a great school. Everyone was so happy and loving, and it is right in the middle of the heart of Cajun country in Lafayette, Louisiana. Everyone was looking forward to the fall semester. And one girl says that she was working at a local health club and babysitting on the side for extra money. She said one of her friends asked her one day to babysit her children overnight while she went out of town. The friend accepted. She said, absolutely, I would love to babysit. She said it was a very safe neighborhood. It was close to UL, and a city official lived right across the street, so she felt very safe in this neighborhood. She said she arrived at her friend's house, played with the children, let them stay up a little later, and she said around 10 o'clock, she put the kids to bed, and she said she went straight to do schoolwork right after that. Around 11 p.m., she decided to go to bed herself. Then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, a masked intruder holding a flashlight like this behind the lens and over his shoulder shined the flashlight in her face and ordered her to stand up and to do everything he said, or he would hurt her and the children. She said she was completely blinded by the flashlight. Now, I'm going to pause right there and tell y'all this. For us, I know for y'all, but for me, if I shine a flashlight on something or someone, I'm using the remote because I didn't grab the flashlight. We're going to probably point it like this, right? This is how we're going to point our flashlight. No, this person pointed it like this, behind his shoulder, holding it right behind the lens, which, as we all know, certain individuals do that. And these certain individuals are law enforcement officers, right? This is how they hold their flashlights. The girl said she was terrified. Here it was in the middle of the night. She had these children to protect. All she thought about at the time was, I have to do everything he says because I have to protect myself and the children. The young lady says that he wore a mask with itchy wool gloves. He had a gun in one hand and a flashlight in the other hand. He instructed her to stand up and walk him all over the house. He told her he was looking for money. However, he took nothing. He then tells her, I know exactly where you live. I know your address. And if you tell anyone, I will come back. How traumatizing is that, y'all? How scary is that to know that this man that just broke into your friend's home knows exactly where you live? Now you have to wonder, has this man been watching her? He then essays her. And when he's done, he tells her to use the restroom and take a shower, and then tells her to count while he walks out. But before he walks out, he tells her, if you go to the cops, I will know about it. Not hear about it, but I will know about it. Remember that phrase. She said she was deathly afraid and just traumatized after this. Who wouldn't be? This is so very scary. She goes to the hospital. DNA from the perpetrator is found on her. However, she cannot identify the man as he was wearing a mask. All she says was that he was a heavy-set white male with piercing blue eyes. And she said her life has never been the same since. Then one day her friend calls her and says, "Hey, I'm sorry about what happened to you, but I want to tell you this happened to me as well." They started comparing notes, comparing stories, and that's when they both realized that their story was identical. Could this be the same man that broke into their homes? And get this, the friend's home was only 1 mile from the girl's home that was attacked. So this man could have attacked both these women within 1 mile of each other in the same area. So now you have to wonder if Lafayette, Louisiana was dealing with a serial predator. A Lafayette detective said that the girls' cases sounded very familiar to other unsolved SA attacks in the area. He even said that it sounded the same as a case going all the way back to 1984. So could this man have been attacking women for over a decade? And it was all the same MO. He would break into the homes, he would shine the flashlight, he would tell them he was there for money, but didn't take anything. And he would also tell them all to walk around the entire house while he had them at gunpoint. Could y'all imagine, especially if your children are home at the time, y'all? If your children are home and you have someone holding a gun to you and he sees your children. I could not imagine that, y'all. I could not even deal with that. I would tell the person, do whatever you want to me. Do not hurt my children. God, that is so scary. But the reason why he wanted to walk around the house with his victims was because he wanted to find the closest exit. He wanted to know that if he had to hurry up and get away, where were the exits? Because you don't hear about that often. You don't hear about a perpetrator breaking into the house and having the person walk all over the place. It doesn't happen like that. Usually they break into the house and they attack the person where they are. They don't make them walk all over the house. But in this case, he made his victims walk the entire house. When the DNA came back, they collected all the DNA from the women as well as washcloth and sent it off to the lab. And when they sent it off to the lab, they found that it was all the same DNA. So Lafayette, Louisiana was in fact dealing with a serial predator. They wanted to know who this man was. And all of these SA cases happened within miles of each other, not states away, not cities away, but just miles away from each other. So the police were on this. Another clue that police discovered was that all the women shopped at the same grocery store and attended the same health club. And what intrigued the cops the most is what he said. If you go to the cops, I will know about it. So did he have an insight in the police department? Did he know somebody in law enforcement? Was he working in law enforcement? Did he have a related job? And how he held the flashlight upright like this behind his shoulder and behind the lens, as all police officers do when they stop you for a violation or something. When they stop you, especially at night, they're going to hold the flashlight like this. It's almost blinding you. And this is what this man was doing when he would attack these women. But get this, y'all. Get this. This really made me angry. Yeah, when I heard this. Oh, I was so mad. Yeah. Okay, listen. Listen what he told his victims. He says, this isn't entirely my fault. No, this isn't my fault, because if you would have had that locked, I wouldn't have broken in. If you would have had the door locked, I wouldn't have broken in. So my advice to you would be to lock your doors, lock your windows, always check. So he says it wasn't all his fault. It was their fault as well. Who says that? What kind of monster is that? You're giving me advice after you just SA'd me, after you just broke in, scared the living daylights out of me, attacked me. Now you're telling me that it's partially my fault? Oh, y'all, that made me so angry, so angry. But there was a break in the case. All of a sudden, while he was attacking someone, his mask came off. He wore this bandana mask and it came off. So one of his victims caught a glimpse of him. A sketch was drawn, but it didn't look like anyone knew, especially no one in law enforcement. Then another victim told the cops that directly after the attack, she saw a tan brownish truck leaving her neighborhood. However, there were over 12,000 tan brownish trucks in Louisiana at the time. So everyone wanted to know, who was this man? Could this have been the perpetrator? Did he drive this truck? Was he in law enforcement? And if he was in law enforcement, it would be very difficult for him to be caught. The cops labeled this serial predator as a South Side R due to all the attacks happening on the south side of Lafayette. The cops were very confused. Who was this man, and was he in law enforcement? Since 1984, there were 12 unsolved SA attacks in the same area. Then all of a sudden, in 1995, the attacks stopped in cold turkey, just completely stopped. I mean, there was no trace of this man. Surprisingly, this happens a lot with serial predators. Derek Todd Lee, BTK, Ted Bundy, Rodney Ocala, Richard Ramirez. All these serial predators took a break, and it happens very often. Sometimes they move, they get married, there's an illness, there's a death, they have children, but they always come back. Yeah, they always come back because it's in them. It is in them to do this, so they always come back and keep attacking or keep killing. When the cops go to all these homes that these attacks happened, they see that all of these homes don't have curtains, so you could see directly inside of the house. And when the cops put all these addresses together, they all happened within miles of each other. So they took all these houses and they looked at what was in this area. And there is a neighborhood that's exactly 2 miles from every attack. Can you believe? The cops were so smart that they looked at all of this and say, where is this happening? Somebody lives around this area because all of these attacks are happening so close to each other. There is a neighborhood, and the cops want to know who lives or who works in or around this neighborhood, and they get a break in the case. There is a Lafayette police officer that lived in this neighborhood when the attacks were taking place. However, he recently moved. He was a 20-year veteran for the sheriff's department. His name was Randy Comeaux, a divorced father who was engaged to a volunteer at the SA Crisis Center, and he often worked on SA juvenile cases. Yes, this man is the man that they think is attacking all of these women. But they can't just go arrest him. They need to know if it's really him. They need to know if he's really the person doing this to these women. They don't want to destroy his life, but cops have to find a way to retrieve Randy Comeaux's DNA some kind of way. And then the cops receive an anonymous phone call from someone saying that Randy Comeaux is in fact the Southside R. He is the person that the cops are looking for. The cops have the DNA from the serial predator. However, they want to retrieve Randy Comeaux's DNA. So they know they have to be very sneaky about it. They don't want him to know what they are doing. So they take an ashtray, they sterilize it, and they put it in front of Randy Comeaux. They know that Randy Comeaux is going to be coming in the break room on his coffee break, and he will smoke a cigarette. He smokes a cigarette. They take that cigarette and they send it off to the lab. And guess what? The DNA on the cigarette that Randy Comeaux was smoking matched the DNA that was found on the women or on the washcloth. They knew this was their guy. They had him. Randy Comeaux is arrested. And guess what, y'all? He confesses to everything. He tells the cops that, yes, he in fact committed the unsolved 12 SA cases. Not only did he commit those cases, but he also told them about 2 other cases that he committed that the police knew nothing about. When the police searched Randy Comeaux's apartment, they found women's underwear from the attacks. As we all know, serial predators always take a trophy from their attack so they can relive the attack over and over, because they are sick human beings that want to relive the cases over and over and over again. They also find books on SA. They also find road maps of the South Side neighborhoods. They know this is the guy. He confessed to everything. They have all this evidence. They also find a brownish tan truck at his brother's home in Shreveport, Louisiana. Randy Comeaux goes to court and he pleads guilty to 6 counts of aggravated assault and is sentenced to 6 life terms in prison. Randy Comeaux will never see the light of day. He will never get out of jail. And the crazy part about this whole situation, this man was right under the cops' nose the entire time. He worked on juvenile SA cases. He was engaged to a volunteer at the SA Crisis Center. This man was sick, y'all. He was a sick individual who was a law enforcement officer. He swore to protect and serve. However, he wasn't protecting and serving. He was committing violent attacks on women for almost 2 decades. It took forever to catch him. But as I always say, DNA never lies. My final thought, I always give y'all my final thought. And my final thought is always, 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 always be aware of your surroundings. Randy Comeaux would watch these women. He would stalk these women, find out where they live, break into their homes in the middle of the night, attack them, then leave. He knew exactly what they were doing. He knew what they were doing throughout the day. He was watching them. He knew their entire routine. And I always tell y'all to be aware of your surroundings. Take it from me. Look at me. As I told y'all in my very first video almost 2 years ago, how I believe that I was almost a victim of serial killer Derek Todd Lee. As he approached me, as he spoke to me, he knew where I worked, he knew where I lived. And I don't know if he could have attacked me, but I firmly believe that he would have. But I think what stopped him was I lived at home with my parents. And all of these women were at home alone when this attack happened. They were all by themselves. So he knew exactly their routine, if they were alone, if they weren't alone, who was in the house, who wasn't in the house. So like I always say, be aware of your surroundings. See who's watching you. We always want to be protected by police officers. We always know that they want to protect us. However, in this case, this man was in law enforcement and took advantage of that. Having a gun, telling the women, I will know if you report me, I will know about it. He took it to a whole new level. And I'm also going to tell y'all, if y'all are driving at night and you see police lights come on a black, dark, deserted road, wait till y'all in an area that is lit. Don't just stop, because you never know who the person could be. In this case, nobody would have ever dreamed it was a police officer attacking these women, but it was. So always make sure when you pull over, it is in a very lit up area so you know exactly what's going on, because you never know who could be traveling behind you. It's a very scary thought of that someone could attack you. And then in this case, it was a police officer. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. I hope that y'all like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to press on the notification bell so you never miss a video from me, Anne Marie. And as always, stay safe. Always, always, always be aware of your surroundings, and always know that I'm here for each and every one of y'all. If y'all just want to talk, if y'all want to send me a friend request, I'm here for you. And as always, thank y'all all for the love and support. And for you, I am truly grateful. I will see y'all tomorrow night with another video. And as always, I love each and every one of y'all. And y'all have a good night. Bye.